Alright, so in this video we're going to go over what we reviewed yesterday, which was using the Live Trace feature and the Live Paint feature. So, first off, we're going to place our file, place, and you should be able to navigate to the source documents I provided for you, which will be on your media drive. But for me, it is located on the desktop. It will, however, be entitled Vintage. So you'll find the Vintage folder, high res, low res. By and large, you probably want to stick with the high res images just because you'll have better rendered qualities. Now I'm just going to pick out any of these graphics that I kind of like, and why not? We'll pick this one. Actually, I like that one better. And we're going to hit place. And it places our graphic, and you see that there's this X mark indicating that we are looking at right now a raster graphic. And here I zoomed in, you can see the pixels. We're looking at a raster graphic inside Illustrator. And the things you can do with it, but the one thing you can't do is apply any kind of vector treatment to a raster graphic because Illustrator, of course, works with vectors. Now, to solve that problem, Illustrator has presented this really great tool called Live Trace. And once you place any object in Illustrator that's raster, you'll see that up at the top bar you have a list of options, and among them is Live Trace. And you just click that button, boom, and it warns me that I'm working with a large resolution image and that might proceed slowly, and I hit OK because I'm not really worried about that. And voila, processes, and now we're dealing with a vector outline. It's not yet complete because I haven't hit expand yet. It's just showing me a preview of what my result will look like. In order to tweak that, if I want to improve the quality of it, there's this little dialog box in the upper left hand corner where you can actually change the settings, and you can change it from color, grayscale, and black and white depending on what kind of image you want. And right now we're just strict black and white, so we're going to stick with that. And the only thing you really pay attention to is that if you want to basically have only black and not worry about any white, because it will trace both white and black paths, which will be very complex and a lot of paths, you can hit ignore white and it will only trace the black options, and it will leave basically empty space wherever the white exists. But we want the white for this moment, so we're going to keep it. And you want to hit preview. And preview allows me to see any kind of changes I make here, such as fitting paths and so on. Now, the best rule of thumb, you want to actually make the changes and see what happens, because the best properties to get the highest resolution or fine edges and whatnot will change depending on the graphic. So there really is no rule of thumb or like best standard settings for path fitting, minimum area, and corner angles. I can tell you that if you reduce the number for path fitting, then you will see more hard edges from the pixels. If you increase the number, then you're going to lose some of the hard edges, and it's going to try and like basically create this gelatinous shape that really looks less and less like the original graphic. I've found that somewhere in between 1.5 and 3.5 and 4 usually is your best options, unless you really want to smooth out those edges, but that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to hit trace. You can mess around with those features as much as you want. Also, check out threshold, because threshold is one of those things where it will change the overall smoothness and quality. It's processing. I'm going to go with the low threshold this time. And then trace. So here I have my edited version, still not expanded yet. We're not done. So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to go hit expand. And I would hit expand and I'll actually show you what it looks like. Boom. That's what expand looked like. Turns everything to vectors. But instead of that, you have the option to go immediately into Live Paint, and that's what we're going to do. Live Paint. And now we have this Live Paint group in our layers palette. You can see all the objects that are selected in it. And in order to really use Live Paint as it should be used, you're going to have to go over to the tool palette and click on the Live Paint tool, which looks like a little paint bucket pouring into a square. And it's just above the area where you find the hand and the resize tool and so on. So click on it, and you'll see that your cursor, when you're hovering over the artboard, turns into a pouring paint bucket with 3 swatches hovering over it. And if you click on the left and right D-pad, you'll see that you can actually cycle through all the swatches in your swatch library. And for this, we're just going to select any of the swatch lists and items from Adobe Cooler. Remember, Cooler is found in Windows, Extensions, click on Cooler. And then you can then click on any of the options there and add it to your swatch library. So I just did that. I now have some pretty cool, no, it didn't add, so I'll have to click it again. And there it is. So now I can cycle through this series of 5 colors that have already been built into a color scheme, and then just start clicking where I want to place that color. And I can change the actual color used just by selecting a different color, clicking left or right on the D-pad. So it's a fast way that you can very quickly color complex shapes in Illustrator without really having any issues about it, which I love. So that is, in a nutshell, how you use Live Trace and then Live Paint.